Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and we got some big Magic the Gathering news to talk about today. There's been a temporary change in the Commander rules. You see it right here on the title card. Silver bordered cards are legal in Commander until January 15th. Now, this is coming in with some mixed reaction. We're going to talk all about it in this video. First, let's go over the details. We're going to jump right into the announcement that came out today from Sheldon Menery regarding this rules change. Now, if you look in the description below, I did link the entire message, so if you want to just read it and check it out and pour over it a little bit, you can. But we're going to go over all the details here. So it starts off, until the next ban list announcement, January 15th, silver bordered cards are legal in Commander. Yes, you heard that right. Dust off those fruitcake elementals and unleash the unsanity. It's time to celebrate Unstable. The following cards are banned. They have rules that span multiple games, which is problematic for single game multiplayer. Our variants of cards already banned are too nightmarish for even us to contemplate. So there's 14 cards that have automatically gone on the ban list. You're going to notice there's no unstable cards here. They are from Unglued and Unhinged. Let's take a quick look at the list. I pulled up photos of the cards so you get a visual look at them. We have Ashnod's Coupon, which I assume is because it really has nothing to do with gameplay. Now, all the double cards, there's a cycle of these, and there's also an artifact we'll look at in a few minutes that has a similar game mechanic involved. And these are the cards that were mentioned in the description where Sheldon was saying that these are cards that carry over into the next game, which, yeah, these are long games. Sometimes you only play one game, so I guess that makes sense. Double Cross being one of them. Double Deal. Double Dip. Double Play. Double Take. Next we have Enter the Dungeon. Now this is a sub-game card. I mean, there's others that weren't banned, like there's one in Unstable, but maybe going under the table was problematic. I don't know, so this one got banned. Magical Hacker, this could really have a big influence on some competitive decks. This one got banned. Mox Lotus, yeah, okay, Infinite Mana, sure, that got banned. Once More with Feeling. Kind of resets the game and also messes with life totals, so this got the ban. R&D Secret Lair, okay, yeah, I could see where that might be problematic for certain cards. That got banned. Richard Garfield, poor Richard Garfield, he got banned. He's pretty powerful, though. Staying Power, I can see where this could be confusing. That got banned. And Time Machine, this is the artifact I alluded to earlier that also kind of carries over into the next game. So it's kind of funny because there are some cards in Unstable that are similar to some of these cards that did not get banned. I'm assuming they're trying to avoid that, though, so you can play with your Unstable cards since it is a new set coming out. But just thought that was kind of interesting. So the message continues with, you should be careful with the following cards. They work okay within the framework of Commanders, so we aren't going to ban them, but are likely to give your playgroup a headache or lead to problematic games if you're not careful. Use them responsibly, and remember that if you're playing cards your opponents don't enjoy playing against, they probably won't want to play with you anymore. So these next 8 cards are cards that officially aren't banned, but they're kind of like, be careful, talk to your playgroup sort of things. So these are the 8. Khan's Run. Collector Protector. Incoming. Infernal Spawn of Evil. That's not easy to say. Johnny Combo Player. Mirror Mirror. Topsy Turvy. And finally, yet another Ether Vortex. Alright, here's the rest of the announcement. And the first section says they don't recommend using the gotcha cards. If you're not familiar with those, there's 11 cards, and we'll go over them quickly just so you get a chance to see them in just a second. But they're from Unhinged, and they have a gotcha mechanic when they're in the graveyard. If your opponent does or says a certain thing, you get to return it from your graveyard to your hand. The problem with that mechanic, Mark Rosewater actually has talked about it in length over the years, that it really is not what you want to do in a Magic game. It creates an atmosphere where people just don't move or talk or do anything or laugh because they're afraid that they're going to give their opponent an advantage. And that's not really where you want to go when you're playing a game, right? So it was kind of poor design. Also, too, Sheldon Menery mentions here that they're not a lot of fun, maybe if you try to collude to trick someone into like saying a word or doing something. So, yeah, I guess that could make sense. Contraptions, the way they're going to work is they do not count towards your 99 cards. You do have a separate contraption deck, much like you would expect. And he recommends playing with one of each contraption, but that's okay if you don't have them. The rules are still following the constructed rules. You have to have a minimum of 15, and they have to be singleton. Finally, he does remind everyone when it comes to cards like Spike that technically the rules, rule number 13 of Commander is if you use a wish card where you get to look for something outside of the game, then the play group ahead of time should design those parameters. So if you're going to throw like Spike, for example, into a deck, you just need to talk with the play group ahead of time to decide where you're getting cards from. And that's all. So that's basically the announcement. Let's quickly look at those 11 cards and we'll talk about a few other points and I'll give you my closing thoughts. So these are the gotcha cards. You get Card Pecker, Creature Guy, Deal Damage, Kill, Destroy. Laughing Hyena, Name Dropping, Number Crunch, Save Life. Spell Counter, Stop That, and Touch and Go. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about was, even though this isn't a finance video, be on the lookout for some movement perhaps in the market. There's one example I've already found of a card that has gone up over the last 24 hours. Now I know my ABC is up $14.79 in the last 24 hours to $15.96. There has been a little bit of movement in certain cards that are silver bordered just with Unstable coming out generally. But this is the first one that feels like maybe is motivated by some of the announcement we saw yesterday or last night. So that's actually pretty interesting, and I'm going to watch closely. We'll report on these type of things in the regular market watches, so stay tuned for more information. We'll see if anything else spikes like this, but I thought this was pretty interesting. My closing thoughts on all this, like I said at the top of the video, it's kind of meeting a mixed reaction. A lot of players are a little bit concerned with it. I think the problem is play groups that want to use silver border cards probably already do use silver border cards, especially with Unstable coming out. I'm sure play groups are talking about which cards they rather not use or rather use or what have you, and that's fine. This kind of creates an atmosphere where now the expectation is that you can use them unless otherwise noted. So it does kind of flip the conversation a little bit, so I can understand that. Also, too, some people are concerned about side event commander games, so you'd find at tournaments and such, especially considering they do have prize payouts. Like, how is this going to work with them? And two, another big question is how thought out is this ban list? How much research went into it? Because people are already coming up with some crazy combos that are pretty nuts. So it could potentially lead to maybe some more broken gameplay for people that want to exploit that. But at the end of the day, though, I think you just have to say, you know what, your play group is your play group. If you all decide to use some of these cards or all of these cards, wonderful. If you decide not to, then you decide not to. And I think that's fine, too. That's what's awesome about Commander. I almost would have thought it maybe would have been a better idea to just say this list of cards is legal, because there are some really cool cards, especially in Unstable legendary creatures, that would actually be really cool commanders that would be fine. They wouldn't break the game or anything. So maybe this is a test for something like that. Maybe after January, they will say, okay, not all silver border cards are legal, but here's a few that are legal or something along those lines. So I don't know. I would be okay with that, but I'd love to hear your opinion on all this, so let me know in the comments below. But until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.